This is Kali Ma for Sonic Zen with part 2 of Meditation 24/7 with Swami Anand Krishna of the Anand Krishna Anand Ashram, Haven for Spiritual Travellers on the island of the gods, Bali. And this is part 2 of Meditation 24/7.
Yeah.
So earlier we were talking about meditation actually being the divine language.
Right, yeah.
So would you like to go a little bit deeper into that?
Yes, it's the sound, the original sound, which we cannot even define it before the Big Bang. So Big Bang was the sound that we can define now. We can try to at least explain Big Bang, but what was before Big Bang? We cannot say. Now Buddha said that was a state of non-existence. But even the state of non-existence, there should be something. There should be something. And that something is the original sound. And that's what we are getting at. Once you get at that, and once you access that, you can still come back and you cannot explain it again. You can just, it's the
and you can't access it when you want to.
Exactly. The analogy given, the metaphor given is like a dumb person eating sugar. He is all smiles, but he cannot explain it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So this sound has got many names in many different religions and
Yes.
cultures. Shubad and
Shabd, yeah.
I thought that's pretty good. It's pretty close to my surname.
Yeah,
I wanted to change my surname to that.
Yeah.
No. So how many people are blessed to actually get to hear this sound?
I think everyone is blessed, and without accessing that sound, actually, you cannot live. But we do it in a very moments of unawareness, actually, when we are in deep sleep. So that's what we call it Turyatita, beyond the fourth stage. There are 4 stages: awake and dream and sleep without dream and the meditation stage. And then there is one which is beyond all those 4 stages. And that is where meditation is actually happening. We come back, and this is what actually I'm going to talk later on in the evening, because few days back, this is something that I'm sharing with you. I have not shared this with anyone.
Oh,
You're
I'm honored.
You're the first one. I had a very dear friend, and he was a brain surgeon, neurologist, a brain surgeon, a very well-known name. And he died quite early. I was 60 and he died. It was a terrible loss for me. And so some of his ashes are now kept in our ashram in Jakarta. And I try to keep remembering him. And I feel that I've been guided by him in many things, because he was into meditation and he was a scientist. More than a brain surgeon, he was a scientist, a truly scientist. And he was doing all kind of research in meditation. So for the past few days, he was pointing it to me that I should do some research on DMT.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? And I did some research on DMT. Of course, the thing is familiar, but I was not into it much. And then I found that some mushrooms have this DMT. But actually, DMT is produced by our pineal gland. So apparently, pineal gland is producing a lot of things, not only melatonin.
And once upon a time, they thought it was just this useless little peanut just sitting there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is not just melatonin. Melatonin is giving us relaxation, total relaxation. But DMT, I can't even pronounce it properly, whatever it is here.
Yes.
But DMT is taking you to this state of meditation, not melatonin. Melatonin is giving you relaxation. So what is happening? I mean, I hate to believe in this, but I have to believe sometime. But there are certain people who don't like you to have access to this. Because once you access this DMT, once you access that state of meditativeness, you are more aware. You know things which people don't know.
Yes, of course. And also the other thing I believe with that is there's no fear of death.
No fear of death, yes.
And really death is the ultimate
Exactly.
punitive thing that
Right.
all governments and everything
Right.
can hold over
Right.
everyone.
Right.
So if there's no fear of death,
True.
there's no fear of anything.
No fear of capital punishment, no fear of anything.
Nothing.
So this is what governments don't
And a
want.
society without fear, well, what's
Exactly.
going to happen?
Exactly. And at the same time, a society without fear cannot be controlled, but there'll be self-control. There'll be self-regulated. There'll be self-discipline. Because if I know that I and you are basically one,
Yes.
I will never ever imagine to harm you, because harming you would mean harming myself.
It's the same how I am with animals.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
everyone says to me,
Right.
"Oh, Carly, you're on your soapbox again." And I hate to think that I'm on a soapbox.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think, how can someone raise their consciousness
Yes.
and then go out there and just kill a sweet little
True.
pig that's in their garden?
True. And this is going to affect the whole situation. I mean, the food industry, pharmaceuticals, everybody's going to be affected.
Yes.
So they have banned mushrooms, like, mushroom producing DMT, which has got no valid reason. You cannot be addicted to it. It's not LSD. You cannot be addicted to this stuff. And when you are getting from mushroom, actually it is the second class DMT, which is not as good as the one you are producing yourself. But the effect of you eating mushroom with DMT content.
But it does trigger.
It does trigger, yeah.
Production of your own, doesn't it?
It does trigger in some cases, but they have stopped all kind of research. They have stopped. It's being banned in all over the world.
Well, I read not that long ago, and I'm probably got, if I've got all my facts wrong, that when Ronald Reagan was in power, he had a whole lot of scientists doing research on marijuana because he wanted to, make sure. But they came up with this research that it was curing cancer and doing all these incredible things. So he squashed it all.
Yes,
he had the files taken out and burned.
Right.
And I mean, I don't want people to be all going around stoned all the time with marijuana, but it must have its benefits.
True.
My ex-husband recently died from leukemia, which was the most terrible, horrible death.
Right.
And it was the only thing that gave him some peace.
Yeah.
He felt relaxed and happy and at peace, and could accept his death.
True. And this is what is already proven, that you get a very huge flow of DMT at the time of birth and at the time of death.
Yes.
Yeah. And they have not done much research on meditation. But people believe that in meditation you can trigger this.
Well, I was always taught that meditation is the mini-death.
Exactly. And this is dying before your death. So in all tradition, meditation is called dying before death. And what is most important is, after channeling this, my friend, Dr. Friend, I think I now firmly believe that I must have triggered this DMT when I was in Leh 20 odd years back, and that's how I got cured. It was an instant cure, so it's kind of magical.
Yes.
But I must have triggered that in a very big flow of DMT, and it cured me totally within days.
Incredible, isn't it?
Incredible.
Mind you, that there is a synthesized form of DMT.
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah.
And I do know some people who have been taking it. But everything has to be done in the right settings, in the right space of mind.
Right.
And I think people have to be ready.
Yes.
It's like someone who gets an instant kundalini hit through an accident or something, and they can go a little bit bonkers.
That's true.
Well, a few people I know who are taking it very regularly, the synthesized version, ended up with very severe depression. They took them so far to the they saw so much that their mind cannot cope with. So you can't push it out too much. Your soul has to know you're ready.
True. And
not your mind.
Exactly.
Your mind doesn't know if you're ready, does it?
Sure. And if you are getting this from your meditation, then it is already regulated, because your soul decides how much you need it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you don't have to have mushrooms. You can. But what I would like to see is some research done, and research should not be banned. Okay, mushrooms can be banned. That's your problem. But research cannot be banned.
Well, how can they? I mean, can they ban carrots? Probably here, maybe they can.
Yes. Well, we are living in a different world.
It is. Well, like in the Bible, and I'm sure in all other, I'm not a so-called religious person.
Yes.
But it says that every herb and seed and nut was given to man.
Yes.
It's obviously given for reasons.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And especially, the herbs and all that. And I think this whole universe is a big, if you can put it as university or even hospital, because everything is grown there and you can just pick whatever you need.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So why don't you start doing the research?
Well, here mushrooms are not banned.
No.
So that's the good news. So yes, I'm trying to do some research. If it can trigger in people who are sick, I would suggest that, because when somebody is really sick, then as it happened to me, I was not in the position to meditate for long hours. So at that point, maybe you need outside help, outside source of DMT. But after that, after the initial outside source, you have to get back to your meditation, because that's how you can maintain the DMT level in your body.
Meditation really, in a way, is a language, like we said, but it also is a food.
It is. It is the food for the soul, because the soul was in a state of deep silence, and it needs silence again to revive itself.
And I would say that, I'm wondering if you agree, that meditation is also contagious.
Yes, it is, I think.
If someone's in a meditative state,
they
can calm a whole lot of people around them. Because if they get agitated and angry and drop to the level of the people around them, then nothing happens.
It depends on how strong is our meditation is, because if one of my gurus would say, if you have 10 liters of milk and you add 1 more liter of water, then even that water gets the same value of milk, It cannot be seen. But if you just got 1 liter of milk and you got 10 liters of water, then it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. So if you are in a very good state of meditativeness and you mix around with even criminals, and if your state is very high, then you can even influence them. We have seen many people changing themselves instantly, listening to a certain man or certain guru, and immediately there's a change. So those things happen. But again, it all depends on on our state of meditativeness.
So how would you suggest to, like a normal family life, because most probably will have mostly Western listeners, how would they go about putting a meditation practice into their life, and how long would they need to spend on their meditation practice, and what would be the best meditation for them, or is there so many varieties they just have to find for themselves? When it comes to variety, it is very unique. It depends on your situation, because in the West also I see many people who are, not too many, but I've seen people who are not very expressive in the West also, so those people, they need more dynamic type. But basically I feel that the research done by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, irrespective of whether we agree with him or no, but the research done by him was very good. And 21 minutes is the minimum time we need. Because after 20 minutes, your brain is registering that this guy is doing something. And that information is sent out to all parts of your body. So more than 20 minutes, but less than 45 minutes, that would be the ideal timing for meditation. Okay. The Heart Math Institute have done a lot of research on meditation. Yes, I heard of that, yes. And how group meditation can affect the energy for a radius of thousands of miles.
Right. I would suggest that, and that's why I've been against renting place for meditation, because I feel, especially in Jakarta, the energy can be disturbed very fast. You rent a place and then you meditate once a week there, and the next day somebody's doing rock music there. Yes. So the energy pattern is gone. The whole thing.
Well, you never know. Those rock musicians may go home really relaxed.
It depends on how many days you're using the space and how many days they're using. Yeah. So who is stronger than whom? Yeah. But I feel that we should have a small place in our houses where we can really keep that place kind of sacred, because the idea of sacred and profane is all in the mind. So it's all your intention. If I intend to make a small place which is sacred to me, then that sanctity will also help us. It's all conditioning. It's all, it's conditioning a place and sanctifying it. So find a small corner in your place, in your house, where you can really use that only for meditation, for nothing else. It can be in your room.
Yeah. I like to teach that to my yoga students, actually, that if they start to think of their yoga mat as a really beloved sacred space, as soon as they sit on it, they'll start to feel better. If they love it like a lover and treat it with respect, it becomes a really beautiful, special place.
The Muslims, they have this prayer mat.
Their prayer mat, and
they keep it very sacred.
The Jews the same, yes. So, no less than 21 minutes. And to find the yoga meditation that suits your personality type best. And that's I agree with you with the dynamic meditation too, because I find a lot of people who can't meditate it's because they haven't got the energy out of their body. So if they go for a run or do something first, then they can meditate. Or a lot of runners say they reach the same meditative high when they run.
When they run,
And I know that when I go swimming, especially if I'm swimming in a pool, just doing laps, which at first is pretty boring, up, down, but after a while I go into a trance space. But then I'm going so slow, I'm thinking, oh, look at the pretty lights reflecting on the side. But it is, a movement can be very meditative.
Can be very meditative. You see, the Hare Krishnas, they do this chanting, kirtan, and they do it very dynamically. They jump around and all that, and they get into meditativeness also. So it all depends on our structure, our body constituency.
I noticed that there's a big movement in Bali now for the shaking meditation.
This shaking meditation was actually introduced by Osho many years back, 25 years back. 25 years before his death, in fact, so a lot of he started that.
Because a lot of people ask when they're meditating, my body starts to shake, what do I do? Well, how do I sit still? But I always think it's a fantastic thing if your body starts to shake. But then other schools of meditation, if your body starts to shake, you get hit with a bamboo stick on your back. It's the intellect comes in and...
But you see, those bamboo stick things were very common with the Zen practitioners. And if you see the history, the Zen practitioners were all samurai, first of all. So they were already
into that violent state of mind.
They have to keep quiet now. They have to keep quiet. So if you make violence there, you are hit by a mistake.
I'll sit still here, even if it kills me. I also noticed that some people can manage to bypass the physical body and sit very still. And yet never ever enter a meditative state.
True. It's you see, the body is controlled by the mind, and mind can be very unmeditative. It can still control the body. So there is no such thing that if you can sit silently or still for hours, that means you are already meditative. You can be hallucinating.
Isn't it strange how you can come to your meditation mat? You're not really aware you're in a different headspace to any other time. And sometimes you just go into such a deep space, you're just floating out there in the universe. It's so beautiful. And other times you're just in resistance. And your mind's going, I should I forgot to get the eggs at the shop. My leg hurts. I've got to itch on my nose. When is this going to end? How do you deal with that? The two conflicting personalities that there. One time you're off, floating. Does that happen to you?
Oh yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
It happens, and it all depends on so many factors. So the situation outside, on how you are being affected by the events in your life, and they are not all the same. Every time it's changing. So that's why. Coming back to Upanishad, one of the Upanishads says that we have to know the nature of things. So even at that time when we are agitated and there's so much anxiety, we can still withdraw. Okay, all these things are happening, and we can reason them out. Okay, these things are happening because of these events, but I am not going to get involved in that agitation. My body is agitated, my mind is troubled, but I am watching this. So it's just to withdraw, and that's called pratyahar in yoga, one of the limbs of yoga, in Patanjali's yoga, to withdraw from the senses. So those things, let them happen. They are very natural, I think.
Good. I think we'll finish there.
Yeah.
So just to withdraw and to know that you're not your feelings.
Exactly.
You're not just thoughts of your mind. You're not the emotions.
Exactly.
And you're certainly not the itch in your nose.
True.
And you're not that numb leg.
True. True.
The numb leg is what always gets them,
Always,
isn't it?
yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.